Research, showcase your findings, share your passion. Beautiful choice. 3MT stands for 3-minute food. It's a research presentation competition originated from the University of Princeton. NTH graduate students like you have won and enrolled before and under their 3MT. Each and every one of them has become a better version of themselves. So 10 years. But this will be a video by 2017, and you will get a chance to participate in the final event on June 7th. If you are an true graduate student, don't miss out the opportunity to showcase your innovative research. All disciplines are welcome.
Hi, I'm the president of the National Tsinghua University. Please join me at the 2023 NTHU 3MT Final Competition. 3MT is an annual competition where over 600 universities worldwide participate. It's a perfect opportunity for our talented NTHU graduate students to shine. It will be an evening filled with cool ideas and excitement. The final will be held on Wednesday, June 7th at 6 p.m. Hope to see you there.
Research showcase your findings and share your passion. 3MT stands for 3-minute thesis. It's a research presentation competition originated from the University of Princeton. NTH graduate students have won an award before and after their PhD. Each and every one of them has this record is by the
对，因为我报错，因为调整不太，本来是什么忙嘛，因为我是调整，原本是
可是原本是我在计时，那我就不用做。
因为他们说帮我做功课，不然就
干脆一起。
Hi, I'm the president of the National Tsinghua University. Please join me at the 2023 NTHU 3MT Final Competition. 3MT is an annual competition where over 600 universities worldwide participate. It's a perfect opportunity for talented NTHU graduate students to shine. It will be an evening filled with cool ideas and excitement. The final will be held on Wednesday, June 7th at 6 p.m. Hope to see you there.
所以就是
谁教你？是谁教你？
这边要
对，是谁？王老师还是你？那你知道这个吗？
在这哪里？我不知道，就看开讲那没法。
他有什么吗？
对，就是看你这个可能讲的是你的背景。
Welcome, please be seated.
你这边只要，就这边主要是要调这一台。刚才在去问的，
因为有些私校老师就是不管他是2分级或是3分级的老师，因为到后面老师选不出的时候要
要时间。
You have a very special guest today. Wow, I'm honored to introduce our very special guest tonight, President Nthu 3Mt. Would you like to give us a few encouraging words?
Happy to.
Yes.
I am equally excited as all the contestants. You are your best advocate. I think throughout your entire life, doesn't matter if you're trying to land that first job or propose to your future wife or you speak for yourself. You are your best advocate. And one thing that we know from a lot of research is these days the attention span for the modern people is only 7 seconds. So if you don't make that first impression within that first 7 seconds, there's a lot of catching up to do. So I think 3MT is just a fantastic opportunity for all of us to develop that power of persuasion. So I wish you all the very best. I wish I could stay for all the talks, but unfortunately duty calls. So I will stay as long as I could, but I wish you all the success, but more importantly, enjoy yourself. Have a good time. Thank you.
Thank you, President, our president, for this really encouraging words. So I'm Huang Yunyin. I'm the founder of NTHU 3MT. Last year, we had our very first NTHU 3MT at a very difficult time. The pandemic hit the world, no funding, no audience, and no one talked about effective scientific communication. All right. Fortunately, we all got inspired and had fun. And that's how NTHU 3MT started. And that's how NTHU 3MT is all about. Now, here we are, here again. Thanks to your participation, this year, we received over 60 video submissions from various disciplines on cutting-edge technology, on exciting scientific discoveries. Thanks to you, and thanks to our judging panel, there are a total of 12 finalists. Three excellent 3-minute pitches were selected. And all the presenters, the 12 presenters are here tonight to showcase their innovative research on stage in only 180 seconds. So we will soon find out who's the best of the best. All right, before I move on, I would like to express our sincere thanks to our judges tonight for the final. Our Associate Dean of Academic Affairs, Professor Liu Yiwen 老师. Thank you. And our Director of IPHD Program, Professor Li Ruiguang 老师. Professor Huang Zhenhuang 老师 from Chemical Engineering. And also we have our external judges from National Taiwan University, Director of Research Academic Writing Center, Professor Chen Chaowen 老师. And our representative from our generous sponsor, ASML, Senior Director, Head of HRNO, Thank you. Your help and support in time is much appreciated. So I think without further ado, and one of my best friends always supported 3MT, Professor Zhou Ruishen 老师 Stephen from Economics. Very good. So now I think tonight I want to thank you to all the contestant, participant, audience, and our sponsor for tonight. Without you, it's you who make this happen. So I think today is your night. Are you ready? All right. I'll give the floor to our first contestant.
All right. Without further ado, let's welcome our first contestant, which is Ye Hongwei, a student of Institute of Bioinformatics and Structural Biology.
Hi everyone, my name is Wen. I am a molecular biologist. I study how human body function at a molecular level. Cells are the basic unit of our human bodies. Thanks to the magical cell division, we all evolved from an embryo to what we are now. Cell division contributes to the major human development. When cell division doesn't do its magic properly, children might suffer from hearing loss, learning disability, vision impairment, or other developmental diseases, or even cancers. One key component in our cells is responsible for cell division. That is the centrosomes. These nanometer-sized organelle is actually driven by hundreds of centrosomal proteins working on its delicate machinery, pulling cells apart, one after one, from an embryo to a whole human body. How is this magic done? In fact, scientists are still puzzled by this complex molecular mechanism, especially how hundreds of centrosome proteins can be engaged in such a tiny component in our cells. In our research team, we have identified centrosomal proteins that could spatially go through a process called phase separation to facilitate this process. Unlike normal proteins moving freely in our cells, these centrosomal proteins tend to aggregate together and form a gel-like compartment in our cells, which could explain how so many centrosomal proteins can be gathered surrounding a centrosome to propagate cell division. Our study provides a better understanding of this fascinating molecular mechanism, which can lead to a better treatment for human developmental diseases through a new perspective of drug design. Everyone wants to be happy and healthy. Every parent wants their child to live a happy and healthy life. But not every child was so lucky. As a molecular biologist, I hope my research can fulfill the basic human need. I hope one day my research can bring the luck to every child and their family. Thank you.
Thank you, Ye Hongwei. Let's welcome our finalist number 2, Sudarshan Kalal, a student of Institute of Nanoengineering and Microsystems.
Hi, who here would like to see an invisible globe like Harry Potter's movie? What if I say it's not magic and it's actually possible? Yeah, all thanks to a property called refractive index. You know, all the materials in the nature have unique refractive index, and it's usually positive. But I can make this refractive index negative and make wonderful things happen. But before that, let's understand how we see things and how the light works. Light from any source like sun shines on an object and it reflects back from the surface of this object to our eyes. When there is no light to shine and reflect, we say it's dark. Why we do not see things behind an object? Because light that is reflecting from the background cannot penetrate through the object and reach our eyes. But if we have a material that is having a negative index, the light from the background can go around the object and reach our eyes, thus making the object invisible. This is where my research comes in. I design artificially engineered materials called metamaterials to show this phenomena. I use naturally available materials like dielectrics and metals to achieve this. You know, light is an electromagnetic wave. Light is not just what we see with our eyes. The waves we communicate on our telephone, the waves that are used to scan our body at the hospital, they're also light, just with different wavelengths. Now I meticulously design my metamaterial related to this wavelength, usually 2 times or 10 times smaller than this wavelength. I use multi-layer structure using metals and dielectrics, where the metals are shaped and sized So when light is incident on it, the electrons start resonating. The dielectric material in the middle of this metamaterial helps me to achieve magnetic resonance. And by combining electric and magnetic resonance that are mutually perpendicular to each other, I can show a negative refractive index. Now, scientists have found a very simple and elegant way to show this effect. They just shoot light on a prism-shaped structure, and by observing light exiting from this prism, we can know positive or negative refraction. Now, I have stacked my metamaterial to make this prism-shaped structure and have shown negative refraction at a frequency of 0.9 terahertz. In this, when the light from the prism is moving towards the apex of the prism, it's called positive refraction. And when it's moving away from the prism, it's called negative refraction. And as you can see, I have shown the negative refraction. Apart from invisibility, these metamaterials can be used where natural materials have limitations. And they enable us creating very highly efficient broadband and high gain antennas and sensors for medical devices. Thank you.
Thank you, Sudarshan Kalal. The next presenter is Choi Ting, a student of Institute of Molecular and Cellular Biology.
During the COVID-19 pandemic, you may have wondered if you are the chosen one with the spatial immunity to the SARS-CoV-2. And for pet owners, you may worry about your pets may also be infected by viruses. So to address this question, we want to find the individual all over the world who have spatial immunity to this virus. And we also want to explore the virus potential to infect other animal species. In SARS-CoV-2 infection, the spike protein on the virus surface is like a key, and the ACT receptor on the host cell is like a keyhole. When they mesh together, the virus can enter the cell and make the cell be infected. Therefore, the viral infectivity to different individuals or species relies on the binding affinity of spike protein to their ACT receptors. To study the natural resistance in humans, we extend the viral infectivity to different ACT variants in humans. It's like different types of keyholes. In biology, the wild-type protein is the most common type in our bodies. However, due to the genetic diversities, variations can occur in the same protein among individuals, leading to the different protein structure and functions. ACT is no exception. Among human population, we identified 4 ACT variants, and we found only the D355N ACT. This type of the keyhole can reduce the virus infection by 90%. Moving on to the cross-species infection of SARS-CoV-2, if a species have a closer genetic relationship to humans, like newborn monkeys, they are easier to be infected by human viruses. Therefore, we want to study whether SARS-CoV-2 could infect these monkeys. And we found SARS-CoV-2 couldn't infect the ACT of newborn monkeys until the virus evolved into the Delta and Omicron variants. And then these 2 mutant viruses with specific mutations on their spike protein. It's just like they got the master keys to allowing them to infect both humans and other animals. Cross-species infection of the viruses have caused several pandemics throughout human history, including the AIDS and the flu. And our research raised the concern of the cross-species infection of the mutant SARS-CoV-2. Therefore, this should be closely monitored to prevent and control novel disease in the future. Thank you for your attention, and let us continue our efforts to combat this global crisis together. Thank you.
Thank you, Choi Ting. Our finalist number 4 is Chen Jieting, a graduate student of Department of Material Science and Engineering.
What comes to your mind when you hear clean energy? The future clean energy is an important topic in our daily life. Whoever controls the energy source will control the world. There are several kinds of sustainable clean energy sources based on our current technology. For example, nuclear energy. The second largest low carbon energy is considered to be a clean energy source. However, it uses a radioactive field that makes a controversial argument about the risks and the impact on the environment. Another example is solar energy. It is renewable and it can be installed almost everywhere. However, it is non-efficient and is 100% rely on the appearance of sunlight. And the generation process is not always clean. Only hydrogen energy is our future. Hydrogen is abundant, and hydrogen energy can be generated and be utilized in various ways. And it has higher energy density to produce more power. Hydrogen evolution reaction. Producing hydrogen through water splitting is one of the clean methods for hydrogen production. 3D nanoparticles and thin film materials are two different types of material for hydrogen evolution reaction. 3D nanoparticles have large surface area and high catalytic activity, but suffer low stability and scalability. Thin film material, however, is traditionally considered non-efficient and sometimes unstable as well. Therefore, in our research, the synthesis and efficient and stable thin film with a unique structure by a simple process called spinodal decomposition for nickel oxide and tin dioxide system, in which the material undergoes a phase separation into different phases by thoroughly changing the chemical composition by shifts in gift-free energy. The decomposition is achieved by plasma-assisted chemical vapor reaction with the addition of selenium. The phase separation and the addition of selenium in this system can lead to the formation of two more distinct phases that are ideal for catalyzing hydrogen evolution because of their differences in electronic properties, which can lead to more sustainable, better future. Cleaner energy, better future. Thank you.
Thank you, Chen. Our next competitor is finalist number 5, Brandon Estrada, a student of Taipei School of Economics and Political Science.
Technical issues. Thanks for waiting. Okay, so I'm Brandon Estrada. I'm a student at Taipei School of Economics, and I'm an economist specializing in research and diagnosis of economic sensitivity. What do I mean by this? Taiwan, over the last 20 years, has experienced development and growth in its economy. But also, Taiwan is located in a part of the world that also can be affected by external shocks, but also internal ones. Taiwan, even though has had development in manufacturing, services, and technology, also Taiwan, while it's increasing its economy, also is exposing more and more to the global economic dynamic. So even though Taiwan has grown economically by 4.8% in its GDP per capita over the last 20 years averaging, and also in its inflation rate has been stable for 1.2%, we could ask, what has been important? Which factors has been the ones that have made Taiwan outstanding in its macroeconomic performance, but also what are the most vulnerabilities for Taiwan's economy? So my research is based on implementing Bayesian econometrics approach Through vector autoregression models and also impulse response functions, we can measure which variables outside Taiwan and inside Taiwan impact its economy the most. For example, even though Taiwan is an export-oriented economy, also is really influenced significantly by oil prices and commodity prices. When oil prices increases, industries in Taiwan such as manufacture and transport are affected. And the industry becomes really expensive to manage and also it decreases its profitability and it delivers less jobs to the job market. Also, when commodity prices increases, Taiwan is not able to provide to the local markets, and that is a problem. So, with my research, what I aim to deliver is to measure which variables are the ones that cause more impact in Taiwanese economy. External ones could be USA economic performance, Chinese economic performance. Internal ones could be government spending, production. So as you may know, Taiwan has really close economic ties with China and the United States. And so when China's economic performance and United States economic performance start to decline, then what does happen with Taiwan? So if policymakers know the weight of impact of these kind of variables, then better and more accurate resilience policies can be formulated. And and this will help to be a resilient economy to external shocks. So this is what my research aims to deliver in the topics of economics. Thank you.
Well done, Brendan Estrada. All right, let's welcome our next presenter, Christopher Leonard Ortiz, a graduate student of Institute of Bioinformatics and Structural Biology.
Okay, good day. In a world filled with obstacles, changing our behavior to adapt is an inherent part of being a living organism. This principle also applies to the biomolecular machines that sustain our lives, such as the ribosome. The ribosome consists of two parts, namely the large subunit and the small subunit. This translates single-stranded messenger RNA into a specific protein needed by an organism. This molecular machinery has its natural movements for it to carry out its function. One of these movements is the ratcheting motion, wherein the small subunit moves relatively to the large subunit. Additionally, the head of the small subunit exhibits movement called the head swiveling. Like us, the ribosome, while moving around and doing its function, may encounter some obstacle, which in this case is a structured mRNA or a pseudoknot. This introduces a shift in the reading of a codon, which consists of three nucleotides, resulting in a phenomenon called frame shifting. Here, we will only focus on -1 frame shifting, which the ribosome slides one nucleotide back from its current reading position. Currently, the adaptive movement of the ribosome to allow it to slide one nucleotide back to further do its function is not well understood. To understand this, in our previous publication, we have employed the single-cell ribosome model and theoretical techniques that leverage the laws of physics to reconcile the existing experimental results about -1 frame shifting. Surprisingly, we discovered that the pseudoknot generates forces that induces a new movement in the small subunit, which is different from the ratcheting motion and the head swiveling, which we refer to as the rolling motion. To further prove our concept, we have used cryo-EM to capture the ribosome structure with a pseudoknot that induces -1 frame shifting. Interestingly, we found that one of our ribosome structures exhibits the predicted rolling motion, which confirms the presence of this adaptive movement in modulating the frame shifting. Understanding this mechanism not only gives us the hope to further do the viruses, but increases the chances of our survival. Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher Lerner Ortiz. Our next competitor is finalist number 7, Mahima Gupta, a graduate student of Department of Chemistry.
Hello everyone, my name is Mahima Gupta and my research advisor is Professor Honko Chu. Today I am going to present you my thesis and the title for which is Visible Light Photoredox Catalysis in Organic Synthesis Towards Green and Sustainable Chemistry. I believe you can relate to me at this point. Nowadays, with increasing rate of waste and pollution, there is an immense requirement to protect our environment. So, synthesizing any other molecule or any drug without generating any chemical waste is a great challenge to a modern day synthetic chemistry. And being motivated by this great challenge, we have developed a highly green and efficient method to synthesize series of organic molecules or drugs that are very much useful in our pharmaceutical industry. Let me explain you my work in a very simple way. Here we use readily available starting material to synthesize some useful products for drug synthesis under very low energy of light, that is visible light, in our air atmosphere at room temperature. So following this simple method, I have synthesized various types of drugs as well as molecules. Please take a look at my research projects. Here I have used this simple starting material to synthesize these complex chemical compounds. And the most important significant part of this work is that in this, the only waste byproduct which is generated is water. That means this method is very much environment friendly. You can use this method to synthesize several drugs as well as organic compounds without generating any waste. Moving on to the most applicative part of my work, here you can see that using this current green method, I have synthesized many drugs where this first one has an antibacterial property and this can be used to treat lung cancer and gastric cancer. While the second one is a chemotherapy drug and this can be used to treat cancer. These three are biologically active compounds, and this is a precursor for various drug synthesis. And this also has some antiviral property. That means they can be used to kill certain specific types of viruses. That means it is highly useful for us human beings. At last, I would like to conclude my thesis that through my work, I want to promote such green methods which are not only green but also cost efficient and they are highly feasible methods. You can use this method to synthesize several drugs. Thus, overall, this work of mine is both economically and ecologically favorable. So I think this is a very much important thing to us human beings in our present day. Thank you for listening.
Well done. Let's welcome our next presenter, Huya Chorkaman, a graduate student at the Institute of Electronics Engineering.
Hello everyone, I'm really honored to stay for you today to express my research topic related to the integration of artificial intelligence and towards communication for next generation of 6G networks. In 3 minutes, during 3 minutes, I will be guiding you through a fascinating world of telecommunication systems. Some of you may ask, why do we need 6G communication? We already have 4G and 5G. To answer this valid question, let's us envision a near future when new technologies like augmented reality comes to our daily life. At that time, we really need a high-speed internet connection, yes? But through 4G and 5G, it's not possible. The reason is that these two technologies are utilizing millimeter wave spectrum. This spectrum is already full, so we cannot add any new application to that. And we need to search for a new spectrum. Why do we believe that the terahertz spectrum is the solution? Terahertz spectrum located between the millimeter wave and infrared wave is fully unoccupied. So we can use it and assign any task we want. In my project, I proposed a photonic-based terahertz communication system that is fully compatible with the already available fiber communication. Fiber communication is the dominant way of sending and receiving data nowadays. For example, when we want to open a web page on your mobile and the server is located in the United States, you need to send your request, receive your data through a fiber beneath the Pacific Ocean. So any system that is compatible with the fiber communication is already cheaper compared to its alternative. And moreover, my system is also compatible with the 4G and 5G, and it can deliver the data to the several users simultaneously. You may ask, what is the role of intelligence, artificial intelligence in that? Let me explain. We have an antenna, we want to send the data, and there is a receiver, your mobile. This data is passing through an environment. This environment affects your signal. It adds noise, and it shows nonlinear behavior. Your mobile needs to understand what is this behavior to reverse it and find the data. Okay, in the terahertz communication systems, especially because this spectrum has a specific features, it's really challenging job. So we use artificial intelligence to find the effect of the environment and the signal, which is channel estimation, and reverse this effect, which is equalization, to become sure that we are delivering high quality signals to the user ends. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Buya Torkamai. Let's welcome our finalist number 9, Jiang Zhaoyang, a student of Department of Material Science and Engineering.
Okay, hello everyone. I'm glad to talk about how to keep your electronics cool. So with the burgeoning development of 5G communication, IoT system, and AI technology, the demand for high-performance electronic components is rapidly increasing. Portable electronics such as phones, tablets, and notebooks are striving for more compact and lightweight designs while improving their performance. However, the corresponding thermal management issues are getting more and more critical. Therefore, ultra-thin vapor chamber has become a good thermal dissipation solution for mobile devices due to its small size and shape adaptability. Vapor chamber is composed of the shell, the working fluid, and the wick structure. As the working fluid absorbs heat from the heat source, it vaporizes and releases heat after reaching the condenser and condenses back to the liquid state. Finally, the working fluid returns to the heat source through the wick structure by capillary effect. The wick structure plays a key role in determining the thermal performance of the vapor chamber. Therefore, we developed a dendritic copper wick structure by electrodeposition and sintering process. The unique wick structure has a combination of small pores and large channels simultaneously, which contributes to its excellent capillary performance, K over R effective. The capillary performance serves as a key indicator of the wick structure's effectiveness in facilitating liquid transportation. Finally, we have developed an ultra-thin dendritic copper wick structure, which not only has a large capillary performance, but the thinnest wick thickness reported so far, measuring less than 30 micrometers. It is quite hard to maintain a large capillary performance while reducing the thickness. But we have achieved this, and we outperformed other studies. These advancements makes our study very suitable for advanced application for mobile devices with critical dimensional requirements. And surely, it will keep your electronics very cool. Thank you.
Thank you, Zhang Zhaoyang. Shall we welcome our next competitor? Analyst number 10, Liu Luoan, a student of Institute of Technology Management.
What would you call the people who change the world? Heroes, winners, or Superman? I would say they are social entrepreneurs. As people spend most of their time at work, how you think about your work is a very crucial topic. Social entrepreneurs are the best example of the people who live out their meaning of their work and keep on the meaningful work in their lives. But how? They start a business to solve problems with innovative approaches and try to realize the ideal pictures of the world. They take on the mission to make this world better. However, there is not always bright side of social entrepreneurs. They will experience challenges and downturns in reality. In the meantime, the business models will not always be the most profitable. It takes a lot of time and communication to see the outcomes. So what would be the reason to keep them going? My research is to identify the mechanism of how social entrepreneurs create their meaningful work and how meaningful work in turn keeps them going to make a difference. So in my study, I interviewed 22 social entrepreneurs in Taiwan and find out two patterns of the mechanism. So pattern one, they start from a specific topic and they just have the solution to the topics, and they will contribute to creating a new ecosystems with innovative approaches. And for example, a social entrepreneur built up a sustainable forest industry. He collects all the wood that is seen as trash, extracts the valuable components, and transfer them into a cleaning solution, which helps recycle the forest. So it sounds really cool, right? Moreover, pattern two starts from the entrepreneur's expertise and professional. They will utilize their professional knowledge and skills and their personality to inspire people and lead to actions for social goodness. The meaning of their work comes from creating value and positive changes to the society. That is why they can always be the driving power for social innovation and sustainability. So now you don't have to change the world, but you can start from the small changes to make this world better. Find out your meaning, find out your mission, and you can be the next hero of the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Liu Luoan. Next, let's welcome our number 11th competitor, Su Guohao, a student of Department of Electrical Engineering.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Boris from BIC Lab, BIIC Lab in Electrical Engineering Department. Today, I would like to share my research topic in a very interesting and easy understanding way. AI is really hot recently, right? Specifically, my ultimate goal is to vaccinate a speech emotion recognition model so that it can work normally without being harmed. Vaccinate an AI model sounds ridiculous, right? Remember the hard time we just went through? Right, it's the pandemic. At those times, most of us need vaccination to protect us so that we can overcome that tough period. Actually, Current general AI models are also in a similar situation as we did. In the AI world, they also have viruses that will harm the model and that degrades the accuracy of the healthy model can originally perform. These viruses will poison the neuron of the model through gradient propagation. The neuron of the model can be imagined as a human cell, and the gradient propagation is the optimization process for deep learning models. However, only a few studies discuss the immunity issue in the speech domain. Therefore, to neutralize the detrimental outcome, we developed an algorithm to make AI models self-explore various types of adversarial attacks. And this process can be seen as a vaccination procedure, which makes our cells recognize a certain type of virus and know how to defend them. Similarly, this self-exploration mechanism would generate multiple types of viruses during the training stage, which makes our model stronger and immune to the similar viruses, or we call it syn adversarial attacks. In the end, then through our proposed self-exploration of mechanism training, then our model shows a great protection efficacy and also the recovery rate. Protection efficacy represents the reduced risk of adverse outcome, and the recovery rate means the correction of harm samples, which are two common metrics used for evaluating the vaccination as well. In summary, our work contributes to the following aspects. It vaccinates the model from being harmed, and also it maintains the consistency of a performance while under attack. And thanks for your listening. This is my sharing today. If you would like to know more about AI research, applications, and informations, follow our fan page. Thank you.
Thank you, Suboha. Alright, we are now down to our last contestant of this year. Our finalist number 12, Samiksha Bajaj, a student from Department of Material Science and Engineering.
Hello everyone. I am Samiksha Bajaj pursuing PhD in Material Sciences and Engineering Department. Today I am going to explain my research on the topic Harvesting Nature Abundant Mechanical Energy for Piezo-Catalytic Hydrogen Evolution. First of all, I would like to draw all your attention towards a very serious problem, which is energy crisis. As we all know, energy is very important. Right now, the current resources for energy are fossil fuels, but they are limited in amount and non-renewable energy resources. So here we have need to develop some energy resource which is sustainable and renewable. The solution to this problem is hydrogen. Why hydrogen? It is clean and green. It is the most abundant chemical element present in all over the universe. It cannot produce any electronic waste like batteries. It just produces water on burning. Now, I would like to ask you, do you like flowers? I am pretty sure when you give flowers to someone, it brings smile on anyone's face. But in engineering, a flower can generate hydrogen. I will explain how. Here, my group has developed a MOS2 nanoflower named molybdenum disulfide, which can generate hydrogen by piezo-catalysis. In piezo-catalysis, we use piezoelectric materials. Now, what are piezoelectric materials? These materials are those materials that generate electricity when we apply some force. For example, in your daily life, you use push button lighter. When you press the button, there is a generation of spark. So what is inside the lighter? There is a piezoelectric material. Now when I place my material MOS2 in water, the water waves push the force on the MOS2 petals. Then these petals feel the force, then they got bent and start generating current, which helps to produce the hydrogen. Hence, my research is focused on generating hydrogen by using nature-abundant forces like ocean waves, wind, biomass, etc. Thank you.
Thank you, Samiksha. Good job.
Wow, 12 innovative research delivered with confidence and skills. I can see now the judges have tough decisions to make. Before the judges return with the results, I'll give the floor briefly to Professor Chen Hopwen and our sponsor ASML for some fun stuff. Yeah, we have the voting kind of game going on. And I think let's take group photo first with our special guest. And my best friend, Stephen.
Don't worry, that's okay. I forgive you.
All right, so I think we are taking the picture from that side, from here, yes. Woo! Show your spirit, hey! Can we all yeah, let's come closer. Thank you all for coming for this wonderful night. Yeah. Can I block? But can we block the live streaming? 这个 live streaming 可以block。有政治的。那个不能做。Yeah. Sorry, friends online. For we are taking pictures.